I'm also not giving you my name, and I'm not giving you my shoulder number.
No.
I will wager you've never filed a lawsuit in anyone. I will wager.
And that's on record.
Welcome to the Audit Assessor. Over here we break down encounters between the public and the police. We examine the law, the conduct and the context so you know your rights, their responsibilities and where the line is drawn. Thanks to Plodding Along for letting us cover and break down this police audit. Make sure to subscribe to his channel and like his videos. His link is in the description below. In this episode, Plodding Along is filming outside a police station when an inspector turns up already on edge and looking to take control. Instead of following basic standards, he leans on attitude, skips his own code of practice, and starts asserting powers that simply aren't there. What makes this one hit is how little Plodding Along has to do. No arguing, no escalation, just calm, precise pushback that strips every excuse away. With nothing left to stand on, the inspector doesn't resolve it, doesn't justify it, and doesn't enforce anything. He walks away, exposed by his own approach.
You're actually on privately run grounds, so it's a police station.
Ah, I
So
see.
if you'd like to
Would
come
that be
to
private?
the public area,
Would that be privately run on the basis that it's publicly funded?
yeah, but that's not relevant to the fact that it's public infrastructure.
It's highly
relevant.
Hold on. It's highly relevant.
You're
It's highly-
trespassing on the police station.
Okay.
Do you have a?
Is trespass a civil or a legal matter?
Do you have?
Is trespass a civil or
Do you
a
have a
legal
request
matter?
of the police?
Yes, answer the question. Is trespass a civil or police matter?
Do you have a request?
I'll answer the question for the benefit of my viewers.
I think
it's a
what
civil
you're here
matter.
to do is to ask silly
It's
questions.
a civil matter. It only
for a
becomes a
video
police
that
matter when it's
nobody's gonna be
aggravated
interested in.
trespass.
If you could
you
turn
do me
around
one
and leave
favour
the
just to
premises,
carry on with this
they're
consensual conversation? Provide me with
working,
three
yeah.
forms of address.
provide you with three forms of address.
Identity, my apologies.
I think you are asking some irrelevant questions.
And I'll do it myself.
And
Oh, look at your rank. Oh, dear me, you know better than that,
I
sir.
think you're asking questions which aren't relevant.
Here we are, on duty, covering
What
identification.
I'm not going to do, because you don't...
Could you, for the benefit of the audience, say what those two diamonds represent and your rank?
What
I
they
know.
represent is that
I'm
asking you...
The inspector opens by calling it private property, then immediately waves away the fact it's publicly funded because that detail ruins the line he's trying to run. When that doesn't stick, it mutates into an accusation of trespass, and that's where Plodding Along pins him down properly. Trespass is a civil matter unless specific conditions apply, so asking whether it's a police issue or a civil one isn't clever, it's basic. At the same time, he's refusing to give his own 3-point identification, and is actively concealing his ID card, creating a one-way interaction where demands and assertions flow outward, but accountability is kept out of sight.
Do you have a reason to be on
Right now I do.
premises?
Right now I do. It's to identify you.
As we haven't met, I'm wondering why you're being so
Then
hostile
introduce
with me.
yourself.
Come to the public area.
If we played police bingo today, we've got hostile, private ground when it's public. A lot of people ticking boxes
Sorry.
at the moment. It is cliche corner, isn't it? Stick within the bounds of the law. Identify yourself. You're in uniform. That's
What
a
I'm not gonna
second
do-
formal offer. You have the
What I'm not
opportunity
gonna
to
do
redress
is have
your
have
error
a silly conversation
for the third and final
with
time
somebody
before it
who's
goes on
standing at the
record.
front of an office building.
On the record for the
For
third and
reasons
final
that-
time, will you identify yourself while you're in the course of your duty?
What I'm not going to do
Yes or no?
is I'm not going to give you permission to
Okay,
put
you're not
this
identifying
video
yourself. This is no longer a
onto
consensual conversation.
onto the internet.
I will take it up with your
You
superiors.
don't have permission to put that video on the internet. You don't have my personal permission.
Tell me the law that precludes me from
You're
doing
not
it.
in a public place.
Tell me the law that precludes me from doing it.
I'm telling you that I'm not giving you personal permission to put
Don't
any
need it.
video
Don't
onto the
need it.
internet.
Don't need it.
But just so that you know,
Did you watch the two?
because
Did
that
you watch
is
the
relevant.
Twin Towers come down?
That is
Did you watch
relevant.
the Twin Towers come down?
Goodness me.
Did you?
You're one of these. Okay.
Oh, one of these bingo
are.
time, boys. Here we go.
You're going to tell me that the police knocked the Twin Towers down or something like that?
No,
aren't
don't
you?
be silly.
The hostile label comes out the moment the inspector loses control of the exchange. Nothing about Plodding Along's tone changes. He's steady, measured, and asking simple questions. But that calm becomes a problem when it can't be bullied into compliance. Then tops it off by claiming he needs personal permission for the video to go online. That's not a mistake, it's an attempt to invent authority where none exists. Officers don't get veto power over footage just because they don't like how they look on camera. When an inspector starts making up consent rules and calling composure hostility, it's not about public order or professionalism, it's about an ego reacting badly to being exposed.
Public place, and we can keep talking.
Here we go.
At the moment, there's people who are...
Did
these-
your constabulary put these council painted lines down?
They have no
What do
relevance to
they do?
public roads.
They're public. It's publicly funded.
No, this,
1972 Criminal
isn't
Justice
publicly
Act,
funded.
Section
There are
33,
signs at the
implied
front.
rights of access.
There are signs at the front
which
that
I've
say
read
that
and I've
no
recorded
public access
and
beyond this
narrated
point.
to, and I haven't
It
been
sounds
anywhere.
like you're an angry man.
Anywhere
You're an
that I
angry
shouldn't
man
be.
who doesn't like public
Do you
services.
think personal insinuation is the way for a senior officer to behave?
This is an observation. You seem to be very angry.
Angry?
You're here on a police station. You clearly don't like the police.
Would you be delighted if
I'd
your
like you to
Would you
come-
be delighted
I'd like
if
you
your
to
rights
come
were violated?
Back into.
Would you be delighted?
No,
you
very
wouldn't.
argumentative, and it's
Oh,
far
that's a
less.
crime, isn't it? What
happened to you with the
constitutes
police. Or you
authorisation?
have a
I'm asking
general
you now, as a
dislike
member of the
public
public.
services.
I work in a public
I
service.
think that you've got a general dislike of the police.
I work in the public service.
Okay.
Telling him to move to a public area is where the inspector really ties himself in knots. Plodding along points straight at the double yellow lines running past the station, markings laid by the council, enforceable under public highway rules. You don't get those on genuinely private land. Then PA goes one step further and brings up section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972, which recognises lawful access in places the public are ordinarily entitled to be. The inspector doesn't engage with that at all. Instead, he retreats into name-calling, repeatedly branding PA an angry man. That's not leadership, and it's not authority. It's a senior officer reacting emotionally because the legal footing he tried to stand on has just been kicked out from under him.
If people came to where you worked to start arguments with a hostility towards what you do,
They'd be allowed to film,
I
and I'd
think-
have to identify myself. Firstly, identify yourself as you're
the reason I'm
obligated
not
to
going
do. The reason
is
you're not going to because you're
here
acting.
with an axe to grind, and you don't like
Speculation overruled.
people
Speculation
here for public,
overruled.
Give you public service.
See how this will pan out in court. Speculation
This
overruled.
won't end up in court.
No, it
because
won't, because your side will settle before it goes there.
You
To make a
have.
formal complaint about your lack of
then
identification.
you're
I'll take it.
also-
I'll
you're
take it to the
also-
relevant
but
body.
I'm not in public.
I beg. You're on duty.
I'm always on duty.
Exactly, and you have to identify whether
no,
you're in plain clothes
I'm
or
not
not.
in a public place.
Yes, you are.
I'm not dealing with the public.
Remember, this
you
is-
are on private property. So what I'm
This
not going
debate
to do
we're
is
taking
give
up
you
by
a name
solicitors.
to put onto the internet for your angry website where you don't like public
Angry website.
services.
Classic. This
You
geezer, isn't
don't, you don't seem to have any questions. What do you want
I
from
have.
this interaction?
Who am I speaking with? You're now
You're
obligated
behind-
under
you're
two
behind a
rationales.
sign that says
Two
no
rationales. Your code of
unauthorised
ethics.
access.
Your code of ethics and your policies.
Please
You're on
tell me
duty.
about the code of ethics.
I think it's the other way around. You need to adhere
Well,
to
you're
them.
giving
Look at
me
your
all the
senior.
facts.
Look at the ranking
You're
here.
giving me
Look
all
at the
the
rank.
facts. What would you like
Look
to
at the rank.
What would you like
And
to
this
talk
is how you
about? What would
behave.
you like to achieve?
They always say shit travels downwards, don't they? Eh?
Well,
This is where the inspector fully abandons any pretense of professionalism. He refuses to identify himself not because of risk or operational need, but because he claims PA doesn't like public servants. An irrelevant emotional excuse that has nothing to do with his obligations. Dislike isn't misconduct, and it certainly doesn't suspend an officer's duties. Then he doubles down by hiding behind the same broken claim that he's on private property, as if that magically switches off accountability. PA nails it by pointing out that under the Police Code of Ethics, identification isn't optional. It's a requirement tied to transparency and public trust, not location or mood.
sensitive site.
Sensitive. Put some soothing lotion on it then if it's sensitive.
So you're funny as well as interesting.
Brilliant, aren't
Every
I?
one of your viewers will find this fascinating. Just don't walk towards my staff because, unlike me,
Your
they're
staff?
not used to people who dislike the police wandering around. Hello, hi. Do you have some identification? You do. If you could wear it when you walk around, that would be very useful.
This is a
don't
conversation
need-
you're having from a man who
because-
refuses to identify, so just take note of the hypocrisy from a senior member of your staff.
If you have no reason to be here, then I'll ask
Just
you.
see
I'll
the rank
ask you to
hypocrisy of
leave,
your comment then.
because I'm going to challenge them if they don't have a reason to be here.
Yeah, you reply one rule to them and not to yourself.
Dislike for the police.
That's a.
I don't know why you dislike the
I'll
police.
tell you what that is. That could be construed as slander
Well, my observations, my personal opinion.
whilst on duty. You're not here to enforce personal opinions. You're here to enforce the law.
You
Thank you
seem
very
to
much
be-
for saying that on
You
camera.
seem to
Thank
be
you.
rather
Thank
angry.
you. Thank
Please
you.
don't
Thank
walk
you.
towards
Thank you.
where people are working.
And what happens if I do? Sorry, let me rephrase. What happens exactly when I do?
You're well aware that it's
Doing as we speak.
it's a complicated practice, isn't it? It's not a clear principle.
Labelling the station a sensitive site is just another late-stage justification dropped in once everything else has failed. If it were genuinely being treated that way, the standards would apply across the board, yet staff are walking in and out without visible ID, and it only becomes an issue when a camera is involved. PA calling that out as hypocrisy lands cleanly because sensitivity isn't selective. What really sinks the inspector is how openly he lets personal opinion drive the interaction. He isn't enforcing a clear rule, boundary or power, he's enforcing how he feels about being filmed. PA's point is deadly accurate. Officers don't get to police vibes or preferences, only what's actually enforceable.
No public access beyond this point. You know
No, it didn't.
well
It said no
why.
unauthorised access.
You know full well why we have that. Because of the dangers that police officers
Here we go.
face.
Here we go. Here
And
we go.
because of the hostilities from people ranging from casual, camera-wielding, angry people who don't like society and have a problem with public services,
I work in
through
the public
to violent
service.
acts.
This is brilliant.
Through to violent acts.
Am I
to
committing a
police
violent
officers.
act?
No, that's
Am
why
I
said
intimidating
three.
you?
So that range.
Am I intimidating you?
If you'd like to be famous, I suggest you come up with some content that has a purpose, or ask a question that you think you might get an answer to.
You're less than Wayne
Populist
Cousins.
rants like this, citing.
You're less than
bits
Wayne
of-
Cousins.
Bits of information.
Less
in the
than Wayne
media.
Cousins. He identified.
Now, if a police officer is on duty in public, I'd expect them to identify themselves. I've had to cut
On
out
duty's the key.
because you've brought your angry rhetoric against public
On
services.
duty's the
These are
key.
people who work
On
here,
duty's the
aren't
key.
Dragging out the dangers of policing at this point is pure misdirection. General risk isn't a substitute for specific grounds, and PA cuts straight through it by asking the only question that matters: what violent act have I committed? The silence that follows says more than any speech about officer safety ever could. You don't get to project the worst things you've seen on the job onto the person standing in front of you just because it's convenient. That move turns real danger into a rhetorical shield, something to hide behind when there's no lawful reason left to interfere.
These officers may identify themselves because they're on duty. They're in uniform.
You're in uniform.
No, you've come to my office.
So
I
what?
don't face the public.
You
and
are
I
now.
work in an area that none of the public
You're
have
facing
access.
a member of the public right now,
So
but you have
also
no
then
right to
move on
remove me.
No, I said that I'm not going to.
You have no right to.
Well, let's talk about it
You've
in
argued
private,
trespass.
in a
Trespass.
public place.
Trespass is a civil matter.
It is,
If it's aggravated trespass, you're more than welcome.
You're standing in front of a building,
Said building.
which you don't have a right to stand in front
Standing.
of. And the moment you start
Untrue.
intimidating staff coming in and out
I'm not
of the main
intimidating
exit
anybody. That's
by
a
your
false accusation.
presence,
You're making a false
then
accusation
it
on
will become
record.
an aggravated trespass.
You're making a false
You're
accusation.
standing in front of the double security door
False
to some
accusation.
infrastructure which carries a risk and a
False
threat.
reporting is a
If
crime
those
under the
staff-
1967
if those
Criminal
staff
Act. You do
are
realise that, don't
intimidated
you?
by your presence, then you'll find yourself liable to be dealt with under aggravated trespass,
Yeah.
which is a criminal intent. So I'm going to leave you with the officers who are on duty.
You're going- for final
while you
time,
try
you're going
and
to-
intimidate my
Are you
staff with
trying
your
to-
angry
for the final
rhetoric, which
time?
we've heard so many times.
Then learn the
It's
lessons.
called conspiracy
Learn.
theories.
And
And people are very
Are
enthusiastic
you going to
about
identify
it.
yourself, sir?
No, sir.
Accusing PA of intimidating staff is the inspector's last roll of the dice, and it's a reckless one. There's no conduct to point to, no interruption, no obstruction, just filming and standing still. Yet suddenly it's being dressed up as aggravated trespass. That's a serious allegation to throw around without facts, because aggravated trespass requires deliberate disruption, not imagined discomfort. This is the inspector upgrading the accusation precisely because everything else has failed. When ordinary filming won't stick, it gets reframed as menace. He's no longer enforcing the law, he's abusing it.
If you
Well,
stand
that's-
out the front of this building, then you may be committing an aggravated trespass because through
Who's the injured party?
harassment and
Who's the injured party?
If you let me finish,
Who's the injured party?
If you let me
Who's
finish.
the injured party?
I will answer that question with words.
Member of staff.
If you'll
They're on
let
duty.
me-
They
if
cannot
you
be
let me-
harassed, alarmed,
if
and
you let
distressed.
me- If
No.
you let me,
We've played
if you
bingo
let me
before.
Stand out
And they're
the
on
front.
duty.
If you stand out the front, intimidating them to prevent them doing their lawful activity,
If-
coming to work,
if
then you'll
speculative.
find yourself liable.
Have I committed that offence?
You'll find yourself
Am I suspected of committing
You'll
that
find
offence?
yourself liable to
This lawsuit's
to
going
aggravated
up and up
trespass.
and up, isn't it?
I will wager you've never filed a lawsuit in anyone. I will wager.
And that's on record, folks.
I'll leave you with these officers.
Please don't
Go and
circle
enjoy
around,
your
sir.
YouTube channel. I hope your viewer likes watching it. Please leave the
Would
premises.
you like to identify yourself?
No, sir.
And that's his final word.
Floating, he may be committing aggravated trespass without pointing to a single act is the giveaway. That word, may, does all the work. It lets the inspector hint at seriousness without carrying the burden of proof. PA doesn't argue emotion, he dismantles the structure. Who's the injured party? Who's been obstructed? Who's actually been stopped from doing their job? There's no answer because there isn't one. Staff on duty don't become victims just because someone is filming nearby and suspicion doesn't manufacture harm. What really exposes the weakness is how the allegation collapses under basic scrutiny. Aggravated trespass isn't about annoyance or discomfort, It requires intent to disrupt lawful activity. PA forces the inspector to confront that gap, and instead of filling it with facts, the response drifts back to hypotheticals and tone. That isn't enforcement, it's fishing, when an allegation can't be tied to a person, an act, or a consequence. The power being invoked exists only in the officer's head, and the ending seals it. Faced with questions he can't answer and claims he can't sustain, the inspector doesn't resolve it. He retreats back inside. No warning, no action, no follow-up, just silence. That's the final exposure, the moment authority realises it's been bluffing. If you found value in this breakdown, make sure you like the video, share it and subscribe to support the channel and help keep this kind of accountability in the spotlight. I'm the Audit Assessor, this was episode 13, see you guys later.